Well, hello everybody. This is the Holy Grail of 1983 ATC three-wheelers. I was lucky enough to find this here locally, and we're going to do a complete restoration on it. So, to give you a rundown of what it is, it's fairly stock. The rear fender is completely blown out. It's completely gone, but there's some parts I can use. Both brake systems are completely wasted. So they're going to need complete rebuilds. This isn't even the correct front reservoir, nor is this front grille, headlight grille, factory. But I'm not exactly sure. It sure looks like it's made for this bike. It's not a homemade unit, and I kind of like it. So I don't know. It's got the original front wheel and caliper. But the beauty of this is this bike runs like nobody's business. It's a couple of pops and this thing is running and it sounds great. It idles. It comes off choke, not super quick, but not, you don't have to leave it on choke forever. It's jetted just about right. It's got so much going for it. And I'm so happy to just find it, because I'm still thinking about having the whole 1983 ATC collection. So the first thing I always do is I try to get the thing to run. So I take it out and give it a good ride and make sure that I'm not having to pull apart a pristine bike because I didn't test ride it and find out, that the shock's blown out, or the thing will run great for 10 minutes and then the CDI or the whatever breaks down. So I've removed the rear caliper, which was the stock caliper, and I'm going to start there because the front brake master, or the rear brake master I should say, is operating the way it should. Now, it doesn't mean I'm not going to clean it up, probably repaint it, try and replace this hose and that nice fluid reservoir. It's always cool to have that brand new, all clear. You can see the fluid in it. So anyhow, we'll get started on that, and we've got to get it to where at least we've got rear brake, because I'm the utmost in safety here at JT's Customs. The utmost at safety. I will even forego the flip-flops because this is a 250. I'll actually put a set of tennis shoes on and adhere to strict safety rules. So let's see if Chico can get me a rebuild kit for the rear caliper. So diving right in, I pulled everything apart and everything looks real serviceable. I should have no problem rebuilding this. And Chico, with lightning speed, got me a K&L rebuild kit number 32-1445. So I've got all the rubber items in the box here, and then I've got the new ones. So first thing I've got to do is clean and plate all of this stuff. And this is where I'm going to use my custom plating, which again is just so valuable. You see the gold hue to this. That's got a gold hue, but this, that's got a little bit of a gold hue, but really that's more silver than what you see. Now that's got a little gold anodization to it. So I'm going to separate the things that I'm going to go gold with in one pile, and then one in, that's going to be the blue chromate in the other. So we'll divide that up, we'll clean these up, and then it's again plating. Wanted to show you everything after it's been plated. And the difference between the custom plating, and you might say this is gold, which it is. It's a gold chromate, but it's not the deep chromate. And I do a custom adjustment. As you can see, there's a lot of blue in it. And this is just an aged look. When I put this together, it's going to look like this rear caliper is new old stock. That is my goal here. There's some silver, or I guess you would call it blue, and then the caliper. I painted it, and I actually took a Q-tip when it was still wet and got the surface area of the banjo fitting area. So we're ready to put this back together and maybe ride the 250. There it is done. I still got to torque these down once I mount it. And it's looking good. It's kind of an odd place to start restoration, but we got to get confirmation that it shifts and that it runs. So let's install this. And now it's on. I've torqued everything down and bled the brakes. It's solid. But I wanted to show you something. This chain has never been adjusted. I just adjusted it. And any marks on this adjuster, which is right here, this ring, would have shown up, which makes me believe that this particular bike has got, I mean, it just keeps getting better. Everywhere I look, it's all virgin. And when that's the case, it just has low hours. It's, you know, it's a 252 stroke, so some people just don't ride them a lot, you know. They're not going to go to the bar every day in it. So I've just got to put the master link on here, and the chain's adjusted, and we are ready to fire it up. All right. So I did start it, but just barely. Then I had to go get boots because it was hard to start. But I told you it ran good, and hopefully it'll just kick over. So it runs good, and now let's drive it. He runs and shifts. Again, it seems a little backwards to do all this first, but I'm going to rebuild this and the front. This is the front master, and I'm going to rebuild the front caliper. I've got all of the parts separated here, and I've got the bodies ready to paint. They've been sanded and wiped down with the lacquer thinner, but also I chased all these threads because these little screws are notorious for just snapping off or creating problems. So I've also got these separated: black chromate, silver chromate, and gold chromate. So let's rebuild these, and I won't go into any more detail. I'll just have them all done. I know, Chico, I know. Sometimes I'm a bonehead. I don't have to ship these wheels out, right? That's what you're saying, right? Right, Chico? I mean, you can see that. You can see Chico's telling me I'm an idiot. I've got a place in town that's going to zinc anodize these, or whatever they want to call, aluminum anodize them. So Chico just had to act like a smart butt and tell me that I screwed up again and was about to ship these out. So before I can take these in to get gold anodized, I've got to polish them. I've cleaned them up, really cleaned. They really cleaned up. The insides I'm not too concerned with because the tire is going to be around them, and the inside of the rim I'm not real concerned with either. But I don't know if you can see the difference. The one on the left I have polished with the Meguiar's after polishing both of these with the wheel and the brown rouge. Anyhow, I think you can see, I know I can see it in real life. I can see that this one here is much shinier and less scratchy or dull looking. So that's the condition I'm going to get this one to, and then we're going to drop it off at the gold anodizing shop, and hopefully they'll be able to match them to the front wheel. All right, I'm here to pick up the rims, the gold rims. Now, I'm doing this with a local anodizer, and there's pros and cons to that, and I'll explain that in a little bit. So the pros of having the local guys do it is, one, you can talk to them, show them the part, and they're, that they don't make their living off this stuff. So you got to be real easy with them. They don't really want to do it, but they will, because there's just not a lot of money in it. They're doing like 10,000 widgets, at a time. That's making them money. And I'm fairly happy with the way it came out. I couldn't get these wheels to polish perfect, but I got them really close, and they're going to look great. I mean, the new tires, your eye's not going to be drawn to them, that's for sure. So I'm very happy. As you can see, this is a little shinier and it's a little bit lighter, but I'll show you when we get the wheels mounted how it's really, it's really nitpicky. They're really, really nice. So they did a good job. I'm not going to really give the name out because they really don't, don't want that type of business. And I agree with them, that it's a kind of a finicky thing too. People are a little more finicky than I am, and they, complain and stuff like that. So anyhow, let's get these mounted up, and a lot of parts have come in. And Chico's done a great job getting everything here. He assured me everything's going to fit, right, Chico? Right? And that we don't have to return anything. And that I should just get my butt in gear and get these things mounted, right? Yeah. He's pointing it out that they're still not mounted. So Chico recommended that I put these out in the sun along with a seat cover. Good idea, Chico, because this is really getting pliable. These were stiff as a board. They're getting there. so there's no reason to hurry it. I keep flipping them over and getting them nice and warm. Oh yeah, ought to go good. Then, got new valve stems. Got to install those. Get your valve stem. Run it in through the back here. And then take your valve stem tool. This one's got a little bit of one side of this T is kind of broken off, but it still works fine. Screw it on all the way, and then just pull it into place. And then you'll know you're bottomed out when this is completely in. There it is. It's completely in. And that's there. Unscrew it and do it to the rest of them. This is the time to check and see if you've got a directional tire. This one is not. Spray her down here a little bit with some soapy water. I'm almost needing a refill here. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this and try and get as much of that in there as we can. And then just go in here and start. It'll almost go in on its own. I mean, especially being out in the sun. If I can get it. Yeah, it's almost there. There it is. That's how easy that is. So then, I'm going to flip it over. Now taking them off isn't that easy. I paid to have these taken off, but I've done it. Okay, so let's get this over a little bit. Let's see if we can get it somewhat started. It's a little tricky. And what I kind of do here is put my knee on it to hold it, and just kind of persuade it a little at a time. I almost don't even need two of these. There we are, we're near. Knee is the trick. And there it is. That's it. That's all you got to do. And we'll air it up and see if she holds air. I already kind of got the bead set, and what I had to do is sit it on the table here and push on the top. That was enough to get it for the bead to hold air. And then now let's just set the bead. So it says 15 pounds. I can see this is set here. And it's, oh, I still got a little ways to go right here. A little ways to go. Let's see if I can give it just, I don't know if that's 15 pounds or not, but I'm going to watch it. I don't want to go over too far. Now, oh, there we go. Oh, no, it's a little folded. What I'm going to do is take the air out and then do it again. So I had it up to about 18 pounds. I didn't want to go over that. And so what I did was I just took this screwdriver and kind of helped it along. It was only a section about that big. So we're all set here. Now do the rest of the wheels and tires. And there they are, all mounted. Got the disc put on. So now I'm going to have to do the braking in front. Just mount the caliper and the new master, bleed that out, get the whole front end on, and mount the two rear wheels. The master is on and it's bled. Now I had a big problem with this. I even had to talk to the guy on eBay that I bought it from. And what eventually had happened, I thought I bought these before. I've got two in my basement. They don't work, right? That's what I'm thinking. But I crack this line loose and I start to see a little bit of fluid pumping out. And I'm going, okay, well, why is it not giving me pressure down here? And what it ended up being, now if you remember, I rebuilt this and it's brand new inside. It's ultra clean. Well, this hose is old and probably a piece of grit got down in here and plugged up something in there. So I took my air, compressed air, I pulled this banjo off. I blew air in this way to see if it'll come out the hole, the bleeder hole. And it seemed to a little bit. And then I pushed the air in here and blew it out this, and it all of a sudden came free. So the minute that I did that, I hooked all this back up and I put my vacuum little mini vac on here, and it just started sucking fluid. So I was able to bleed this out, and it wasn't the eBay repop master. So I got all kinds of pedal now. So it's on to the seat. Well, let's see what we got here in the way of a seat that we ordered off eBay. Well, get this packaging off. Well, we got a little more packaging here. Now I looked and looked for a seat. And you just have to wait and be patient. This one came up. I don't know what I paid for it, but I paid what you pay for it. You just pay what you pay for it. And hold your nose and pay. So, first thing is get this cover off. I use this, I've shown it before, but it's just sharp enough to really get underneath one edge, and you can only get one edge. You can only get one side of these staples to come out. Then just take a pair of wire cutters and then just pry the other side out. And when you do all those, which takes a little bit of time, you can get the seat cover off. And now this is what I'm after right here. I was after a base and a nice foam, and I kind of saw that's what this would be, and sure enough it is. There's a little bit of deformity here, but the seat cover will hide that. This is going to look excellent. Got the seat all cleaned up, and what I found, I knew that one of these bolts was broken off, but these were pretty rusted. So I had the old seat with really good hardware here, so I'm going to mount this back here. No one would ever have seen it. You wouldn't have known, but it's just, you know, I've got them, so it's just a little extra effort. And the seat cover's on. She's looking beautiful. That'll fit right on the new fender, so let's do that next. There it is with everything installed. The foam was perfect. Now, I've got all the decals here, and of course I'm going to take this one off. But there it is. And it's really starting to look like something. I mean, it was pretty rough, but I could see through it. You know, everything's so complete in this engine. I'm not sure still if I'm going to paint it or not. Having that original motor might just be more valuable. So I've got it to the point now where I can ride it. I'm going to ride this and give it just, at least an hour of riding, just so I know I can feel good about selling this to somebody down the road, knowing it runs, it shifts, there's no weird things. Now, I already rode it once. I know it's not going to have anything because it shifted all through the gears, but I'd like to give it an hour or so. So we're at a point now where I think I'm going to go ahead and close this video out. It's somewhat complete. I've got a lot more parts that I've already bought that'll go on it, and Chico's ordering some more. So the next video will probably be tearing it down and doing the painting the frame, painting the exhaust, the engine, doing the forks, and tidying up the handlebars and all the stuff. Probably replating the rear axle. I might try and keep that gold swing arm. If I can get it to look really, really good, I'm going to keep it. That'll just be cool to have the original swing arm in great shape. So, until the next video, we will see you later.